here at the first part, they ask you to rewrite the expression 7 minus negative 2 as an addition that gives you the same result. Well, it'd be nice if we first started with, what is 7 minus negative 2 equal to? It's equal to 9. And if you want to, anytime you're like, oh, okay, I don't remember this, that's 7. I'm going to have to add on 2 more positives to be able to take away 2 negatives. And when I add on those 2 positives, I get 9. An addition expression that would be the same thing would be 7 plus 2 is 9. Subtracting a negative 2 is the same thing as adding a positive 2. So every subtraction problem can be rewritten as an addition problem that gives the same result, but it's not always helpful. Okay? This is the problem with sometimes in math, people will learn a rule and they apply it all the time, and that's fine, but sometimes it's not particularly helpful to do it. So we're going to rewrite each of these as an addition problem, and then decide whether the new expression is easier to work with than the original. Be prepared to discuss when it's useful to change a subtraction problem into an addition problem. So 8 minus 3, well, that's pretty easy, right? That's just 5. If I want to rewrite that, that would be 8 plus, what would I have to add? A negative 3, exactly right. And that would also be 5. Does that make the problem easier? No. I would say that's not any easier. For B, is there a question? All right, 4 minus 7 is what? Anyone? What?
4 minus 3. Oh, negative 3.
It's negative 3. So it'd be 4 plus what? Negative 7 is also negative 3. For this one, I find that people are usually divided by a show of hands, not any talking at all, but a show of hands. How many of you think that the original is the easier way to do it of the two? Okay. How many of you think the second way is easier to do it? Well, I had a couple people that didn't vote at all. Everybody gets to vote. Okay. So on this one, some people think the second one is easier, some people think the first one's easier. It's entirely up to you. Let's take a look at this one. Negative 7 minus 3 is what? Negative 10. Another way to write that would be negative 7 plus a negative 3. Is the second one easier? Yeah, I think they're about the same. What do you guys think? The nice thing about the second one, it's like, oh, I have all these negatives. I have all these negatives. Now I have 3 more negatives. Okay. So that makes 10 negatives. I think the second way is a little bit simpler. Not a lot, but just a little bit. All right. So rewriting this one. Be negative 4 what? Rory? Exactly right. Negative 4 plus negative 12. Thank you, sir. So both of these are negative 16. Yes, you may. And I think for most people, they would say these are about the same. Now, 12 minus -4. Let's think about that for just a second. If I start off with 12, so that's 12 positives. And I'm supposed to be subtracting 4 negatives. Well, do I have any negatives to subtract? So if I'm going to add 4 negatives so that I can get rid of them, I'm also going to have to add 4 positives. And that's the key. When I'm subtracting the 4 negatives, that has the result of adding 4 positives. This is 12 plus 4 is 16. Is the second one easier? Oh gosh, yes. So, if I have this, then Warren, tell me, how could I rewrite that?
9 plus 15.
Yeah, it's 9 plus 15. Subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive. And that is, I think, a lot easier. Thank you, sir. So for this one, if I have -20 and I'm subtracting 3 negatives, that leaves me with 17 negatives. Rewriting that, that'd be -20 plus 3. I'm curious on this one. Again, this is going to be an opinion question, and I'd like everyone to vote on this one. So, how many of you think that the original expression is the easier one? Just by a show of hands. How many of you think the second one is easier? That's pretty well evenly divided. So it depends on your personal choice. Some people think this is easier, some people think this one is easier. I kind of think the second one is easier, but not a lot. All right, so then this one, if we rewrote it, it would be -6 plus 8. I've got 6 negatives and 8 positives. The 6 negatives are going to zero out 6 of the positives and leave me with 2 positives. I think in this case, the second way is easier. Mostly because on this one, if we're trying to subtract 8 negatives from 6 negatives, you have to mess with, oh, I've got to add some positives into that. All right, so it is up to you. It is your choice when you're doing minus, when you're subtracting integers, whether you change it to an addition or not. It's always allowable. It's not always easier. Okay, so whichever way you wish to do it. So, as we observed in an earlier lesson, if we have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, that's 7 threes. So let's find the value of each of the following expressions and rewrite it as a multiplication problem. All right, well, this is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. That's what, 20? So it's 5/4. For this one, -7 plus another -7 plus another -7 plus a fourth -7 is -28. I have 4 -7s. C and D sometimes bother students just because it's a little different. Here on this one, we got 0, -5, -5, -5, -5, -5, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's -30. Writing it as a multiplication problem, this would be, I'm subtracting 6 5s, so -6 times 5 is the way that you would write that. Notice this is a subtraction problem, so that's why I have this negative here. That gives me -30. Here, I got -3, -3, -3, -3. What is that? It's 12. I'm subtracting 4 -3s. So if we just look at the multiplication parts, in which cases were our answers positive? A and what? A and D? And when was it negative? B and C. How could you describe how A and B are, excuse me, A and D are alike? How are A and D alike? Yes, sir.
Because they're both adding.
No, this one's subtracting.
They're both like.
If you just, I'm asking if you just look at this. How is that and this alike? Yes.
They're both being multiplied by the same, like, positive and negative.
Okay, they both have the same sign. Yeah. So the two numbers being multiplied have the same sign. So if I multiply two positive numbers together, that's clearly positive. You've done that since, I don't know, 3rd grade or something. But also if I multiply two negative numbers together, because I'm subtracting negativeness, that's going to be the same thing as positiveness. All right, what's the same about B and C? What do you notice about those two? Yes. Yeah. Here, the two numbers being multiplied have opposite signs. So whether I multiply a negative number times a positive, which means I'm subtracting positiveness, or if I multiply a positive number times a negative number, which means I'm adding negativeness, it's the same thing. You end up with a negative. Okay? All right, let's move on to the back. So here, if I'm multiplying these two numbers together, then one is positive and the other one is negative, so this should be negative 12. It says write it as a multiple addition or subtraction problem. So because the 4 is positive, I'm adding a negative 3 4 times. I don't really need that plus sign in the front. Sorry about that. And that's equal to negative 12. If I multiply negative 5 times 6, what do I get? Negative 30. Because here I'm subtracting, so I'm going to start with 0 minus a 6. I'm going to subtract 6 5 times. And that's also equal to negative 30. And then here, negative 7 times negative 4 is what? 28. Again, since that first number is negative, I'm subtracting. So starting from 0, subtract negative 4 7 times. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 more. So, what is negative 18 divided by 9? Well, remember what division really means. It means divide the original number up into that many groups. So if I had negative 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I'm supposed to divide it into 9 equal groups. How many negatives will be in each group? There'll be 2. So negative 18 divided by 9 is negative 2. So what do you think this will be? If I have 45 and I'm dividing it by negative 3. Sorry? Negative 15, that's exactly right. So just like when we multiply, if one of the numbers is positive and the other number is negative, when we divide, we'll get a negative. What if both of the numbers are negative? What do you think happens then? We get a positive. Negative 32 divided by negative 8 positive 4. Negative 54 divided by 6 be negative 9. Okay, any questions about that? Okay.